You log out of your account, and everything feels completely normal. There are no warnings, no alerts, nothing that stands out. The page closes the way it always does. The system responds the way it always has. And from your perspective, it's just another routine moment that doesn't require any attention. And that's exactly why it works. Because for most people, this is where the story ends. There's no reason to go back and check, no reason to question what just happened, and no reason to think that anything could be wrong in the first place. But behind the scenes, something very different can be happening. Account takeovers don't always start with hacking, and they don't begin with something obvious or dramatic. Most of the time, they begin quietly, in a way that doesn't attract attention. They start with access, not forced access, not breaking through security systems, but access that's been handed over without realizing it. And that's what makes them so effective, because nothing appears to be wrong while it's happening. That access can come from something incredibly simple: a message that looks real, an email that uses the correct branding, or a login page that appears identical to the one you've used before. Every detail is designed to feel familiar and expected. And that familiarity is what creates trust. The layout feels right, the wording sounds normal, and the experience matches what you've seen before. So instead of questioning it, most people move forward without hesitation because it feels safe, so they enter their details: username, password, and sometimes even a verification code if it's requested. The page responds, it loads, and everything appears to work exactly as expected, with no visible issues at all. There are no warnings, no errors, and nothing that suggests anything is wrong. It feels like a normal login process, so they move on with their day without thinking about it, because nothing has given them a reason to stop. But that moment is where everything changes. Because those details aren't just being used in the way they should be, they're being captured and redirected somewhere else at the same time, without any visible sign. And it happens instantly. There's no delay, no notification, and no obvious indication that anything has gone wrong. From the user's perspective, it looks like nothing happened. But in reality, control has already started to shift. Within seconds, those same credentials are used again. The exact same username and password are entered into the real system. But this time, it's not the original user. And because the details are correct, the system accepts them without hesitation. There are no immediate red flags, no automatic blocks, and no visible resistance. It simply sees a valid login and allows access. Once that access is established, everything moves quickly. The attacker begins by changing the password, then updating recovery options like email addresses and phone numbers, removing any way for the original user to regain control. And within minutes, the account is effectively locked. It still exists, it still functions, but it's no longer accessible to the person who created it. At that point, control has fully shifted. That's usually when the original user notices something is wrong. They try to log back in, expecting everything to work as normal, but the password fails and access is denied. They try again, assuming it's a mistake or a temporary issue, but nothing changes. And by the time they realize it's something more serious, the situation has already moved forward. From the outside, it still looks like a simple problem. Something technical, something temporary, something that can be fixed with a reset or a quick check. But inside the system, everything has already changed. Control has shifted, ownership has shifted, and the account is now operating under someone else's control. Follow CyberMigos for more videos on cybersecurity.